They are looking to stop that 8-game losing streak. Millikin, a little better, but not much. After defeating the Blue Jays on January 9th, 77-72, and going to 3-0 in conference play, they now have lost 5 straight contests. You are watching and listening to the pregame ceremonies with the public address announcer Bruce Hill announcing the starting lineups tonight. And for these two teams who have been on tough slides throughout the month of January, it comes down to offense or lack thereof. The Blue Jays shooting just 40% from the field on the season, coming off their worst field goal shooting performance of the season, 26% from the floor on Saturday in the 19-point loss to Illinois Wesleyan. Millikin no better from the floor. They too shoot it just at a 40% clip, and they are coming off a loss this past Saturday to Carthage. This is the 120th all-time meeting between these two ball clubs. Millikin has won 71 of those previous games, but Elmhurst has owned the recent series, winning 18 out of the last 25. Elmhurst, as I mentioned, lost to Millikin on January 9th down in Decatur, 77-72. That was the first time in 5 games that the Blue Jays had lost to the Millikin Big Blue. Entering play tonight, Illinois Wesleyan sits atop the CCIW standings. They have a 3-game advantage over North Central and Augustana. And, of course, the Elmhurst Blue Jays at the bottom of the league, 0-8. Overall, Elmhurst is 4-15 on the season. Millikin is 7 up and 12 down. Elmhurst is 4-8 here at Faginal Hall. The Big Blue are 3 up and 5 down on the road. Elmhurst is coached by Mark Scher in his 17th season with a record of 243 wins, 185 losses, while the Big Blue are coached by Matt Nadelhofer, a Wheaton alum. He is 8 up and 36 down in his second season. They had a brutal 1-25 campaign last year, improved a bit this year with the 7 victories in 19 games. Starting lineups for the Elmhurst Blue Jays, the same lineup that took the floor Saturday against the Illinois Wesleyan Titans. Deontay Foster and Taylor Baxter are the guards. Nick Sanford and Eric Dornfeld are the forwards. And Alex Morganoff is the center. For the Millikin Big Blue, Chase Robbins and Rodney Clark are the guards. Jalen Owens and Elijah Kinnaman are the forwards. And 6'8 freshman Mitch Wilfer will play the post. And we're just about set to go here on a cold, blustery, snowy night in Elmhurst, Illinois. Wilfer and Sanford jump center, and the Blue Jays have the open possession. This is Baxter to get things started in the half court. Man-to-man defense by the Big Blue. Dornfeld up top. Sanford on the catch. He's the team's leading scorer. 3-point attempt, in and out, no good. And Deontay Foster, who was 1 for 10 on Saturday from the floor, starts out cold tonight. Here's Kinman on the drive. Floating one-hander is good, and the Big Blue draw first blood. Kinman, a 6'5 freshman from Fairview Heights, Illinois, averages 6.5 points per game. And Mark Scher is not happy, and he wants a timeout less than a minute into the game. It's a 30-second timeout. So the Blue Jays huddle around their head coach, who is not happy just 34 seconds into the game, and I don't think he cared for that defensive effort on the first possession. Kinman sliced right to the basket, untouched for the lay-in to give the Big Blue a 2-0 advantage. Offense has been tough to come by for this Elmhurst Blue Jays team, and if you look at their statistics throughout the year, shooting percentage has been the key. In their 4 victories, they have shot 46% or better from the floor. In their 8-game losing streak, shooting just 35% from the field. They've had 2 games in which they have failed to hit the 30% mark, including last Saturday against Illinois Wesleyan. After breaking the press, Blue Jays with the ball in the half court. This is Sanford. Breaks the double team with a spin move. Shot no good, and possession will remain with the Blue Jays, who are now 0 for 2 from the field to start the game. Baxter, catch and shoot. No good. Rebound tapped out. Foster. Baxter with a drive. Kicks it right side, back to the top. Snap it high post to Morganoff. Back to Foster. And a whistle and a foul. This will be an offensive foul against Alex Morganoff in the low post. That's his first, the team's first. Morganoff, the 6'9 junior out of Sacramento, California, transferred here from the College of Lake County, averaging just a tick under 9 points per game. Morganoff with a block. Elmhurst tries to run, and instead they'll back it out. Good ball movement. Morganoff at the top, passes up the shot, gives to Sanford on the wing. Good ball movement as they get it into the post. Morganoff backing down. Nice jump hook off the glass, and we're tied at 2. Good ball movement that time by Elmhurst, making the extra pass to get the ball in the low block, and a good move by Morganoff on Wilfer. This is Kinman up top. Inside to Wilfer. Good strong move in the paint. Wilfer, a 6'8 freshman out of Wentzville, Missouri, averaging 4.5 points per game, has his first basket of the night. This is Dornfeld, top of the circle, off to Sanford. Baxter wanted to drive, thinks better of it, dumps it baseline now to Foster. Good switch on the screen on the wing against Foster. 3 on the way, good. So after starting the game 0 for 2, Elmhurst has now hit its last 2 baskets to take their first lead. Sanford leads the team in scoring at 15.7 per game. In fact, he is the only double-figure scorer on the ball club. Turnover here, and it goes back to Elmhurst, and Mark Scherer will substitute. Morganoff will go to the bench. And 6'6 freshman Kenny Payonk out of Oak Forest, Illinois, will replace him. 3 minutes into the game, Elmhurst with a 1-point lead. 3-pointer from Baxter, no good. Dornfeld couldn't collect the rebound, but a whistle and a foul against the Big Blue. That's going to go on Elijah Kinman. That's his first, the team's first. Talked to assistant coach Chris Martin before the game. He said the team had its best week of practice all season long as Baxter gets free on the inbounds for the easy lob catch and lay-in, and Elmhurst's lead grows to 3. So Coach Martin very optimistic about the team coming in tonight after 3 days of practice following their 8th straight loss on Saturday to Illinois Wesleyan, and Millikin turns it over for the second time in as many possessions. Now the Big Blue will press. They'll release into the half court and just provide token pressure in the backcourt. Chase Robbins defending Baxter. This is Sanford in the lane and threw it over the head of Deontay Foster. May have overpassed that time. Looked like he had an open jumper if he wanted to pull up and take it. And Elmhurst turns it back to the Big Blue. This is Kinman. Wilfer on the catch, not a threat to shoot from out that high. Puts it on the floor, leans in, and a charge. Good first step to put it on the floor, but he got a bit too aggressive. That will be his first foul, the second on the team. 3rd turnover in as many possessions for the Big Blue. Elmhurst gets it in against the press, and Baxter will handle again. Good anticipation and steal by Kinman. He'll go the other way, a foul, and they will call that an intentional foul. Kinman will get 2 shots, and Millikin will keep the ball. Coach Mark Scherer not happy with Kenny Payonk's decision on that foul going the other way. Questionable pass led to that turnover, but Kinman made a nice play on it. And now finds himself at the line shooting 2 on the intentional foul. Kinman, a decent free throw shooter, making 74% of his free throws on the year. And he'll get one more chance. So the Big Blue cannot take advantage of the intentional foul. No points at the foul line. They will get the ball out of bounds. This is Chase Robbins, who had 17 points in the win over Elmhurst back on January 9th. Wide open jump shot, good by Rodney Clark. He averages 3 points per game. Elmhurst played zone off the inbounds. Nobody covered Clark, and he drains the open 16-footer. And Foster's woes from the field continue. He is now 1 for his last 12, but Sanford keeps the possession alive with the offensive rebound. Good job by Kinman to push Payonk out of the block. And another steal. Bad pass, good anticipation. This is Clark, and he lays it in. Big Blue regained the lead. Pair of long passes from the wing lead to back-to-back steals and fast break opportunities for Millikin. First time they couldn't convert on the intentional foul. This time an easy layup to regain the lead. Foster, good pass down low, whistle, and an offensive foul. That'll go against Payonk. They said he hooked the defender as he flashed to the post. That's his first, the team's third. Substitutions on both sides. Morganoff comes back into the game. Dornfeld will sit. And TJ Griffin, Big Blues leading scorer at 13 a game, number 11 with the ball. At the top of the circle is into the game. This is Clark. He's guarded by Kyle Weiss, the freshman out of Indiana who just checked in. Good offensive rebound down inside and a layup and in by Davis Johnson, who checked in at that last break. He averages 10 per game. Good aggressive play on the offensive glass. Here's Weiss, who played well with 8 points off the bench on Saturday, to Morganoff, inside to Sanford, and he draws the blocking foul inside. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. Fouls on Davis Johnson. That's his first, the team's third. And Nick Sanford, who shoots 63% from the free throw line, will shoot 2. Sanford with his third point of the night. Led the team with 13 points on Saturday, shooting 4 for 9 from the floor. Also had 6 rebounds. He's a leading scorer the last time these two teams played back in early January with 17 points to pace the Blue Jays. Playing against his hometown college. Nick hails from Decatur. He now has 4 points on the night. This is Griffin. Wanted a screen, didn't quite get it. Hands off to Clark, guarded tightly by Weiss. There's a good screen. Clark had a shot, decided not to take it. Now he'll bounce it back out to Kinman. Lob down low. Good pass out of the double team. Three-pointer is no good. Big Blue cannot take advantage of it, and here come the Blue Jays the other way. Baxter. Weiss. Good closeout that time by Clark to block the shot, and he'll bring it the other way. Loses his footing, gets it back, and he'll reorganize the offense. Kinman thought briefly about a free three, decided differently. Gives it up top to Owens. Here's Kinman again. Sanford with him step for step. Kinman finds some room. Shot from downtown is no good. Weiss was the last to touch it. And possession will stay with the Big Blue. Mark Shearer substitutes again. Baxter will come off. Bryant Ackerman, the freshman from Lagodi, Indiana, comes in. Sanford will take a rest. He'll be replaced by Charles Glass. So it's Payonk, Weiss, Glass, Ackerman, and Morganoff on the floor for the Blue Jays. Kinman again. Wants to get it inside, can't, comes out to the top. Ill-advised three that time from the big man, falls well short, barely grazes the rim, but Millikin able to keep it alive, and Davis Johnson hits a nice 15-foot jump shot right at the foul line, his first bucket of the night. And Millikin with its biggest lead. Here's Glass on the wing. Wants it inside to Payon, can't get it there. Morgan off at the top. Here's Ackerman. Glass with a catch, a drive. Good dish off to Morganoff, too strong on the running one-hander. And now the Big Blue will try to run. Good ball movement that time, but the Blue Jays did a good job to get back. Offensive foul, second charge of the night the Blue Jays have drawn. That foul will go on Davis Johnson. That is his second and the team's fourth. Another Big Blue substitution. Trent Windmuller, part-time starter for the team, a freshman out of Holland, Michigan, averaging 7.5 per game, checks in at guard. Here's Ackerman. Now they swing it to the right side for Glass. Up top for Wiest. Drives in the lane, off-balance shot, no good. And Millikin clears the board. Here's Clark. Wiest pushes him out high. Clark gets a good ball screen, gets free, pulls up for three. It's short, and Ackerman will clear the rebound. Coaches are high on Brian Ackerman, the freshman out of Southern Indiana. Played on a state championship team for the Lagodi Lions. And a good aggressive move to the basket. Draws a foul, and he'll go to the line to shoot it twice. Big Blue foul on Tommy Polakis, his first, team's fifth. Ackerman, a 75% foul shooter. Has his first point of the night. More substitutions as Dornfeld and Foster come back into the game. Big Blue also substitute. They bring Wilfer, who started the game at center, back into the game. And he gets the rebound off the missed free throw. This is Tyves Gardner with the ball. He also checked in just a minute ago. Three-pointer is no good, and a good effort by Dornfeld to clear the rebound. Elmhurst staying in the game, but their shooting woes continue, shooting just 3 for 12 for 25% here in the opening minutes of the first half. Good move by Dornfeld. Backing Pliakis down on the block. He banks it in. That's his first basket of the night. And Elmhurst draws even again. Difficult pass that time, broken up by Foster, but he can't complete the steal. And the Big Blue will reorganize in the half court. There's Griffin with it. Foster guarding him tightly. Ball screen. Gets open for the shot. Fade away, no good. Blue Jays slow to the ball. Tapped around, but they get it anyway. Toss ahead to Ackerman. Good snap pass to Foster. And a layup breaks the ice for Deontay Foster, who had missed his first two shots of the evening. And the Blue Jays regain the lead. Pliakis up top. Dornfeld giving him room. Pliakis will shoot it. That's two long jumpers. He's missed short. And Foster clears the rebound. Good pull up by Ackerman, but he left it short. Windmuller tries to run. Glass recovers nicely. Slows him down to give Ackerman time to come in and swat it away. Mark Shearer will substitute again. Sanford, after a brief rest, comes on, as does Payon and Baxter. Griffin will trigger the inbounds after the block shot out of bounds. very close to a 5-second count. Just does get it inbounds to the center, Wilfer. Now they'll get it into a guard's hands and reset the offense out top. TJ Griffin, who typically starts and leads this team in scoring, came off the bench tonight and is yet to score. Awkward fadeaway jumper, in and out. That was Brady Knapp, 6'6" sophomore, into the game. Dornfeld with it up top. Blue Jays have had good ball movement. They've just not shot it well as Baxter drains it from 17. Taylor Baxter with his first bucket. Quiet day on Saturday, just 2 points against the Titans. They run the ball screen again. Griffin's had open looks off that set, but hasn't been able to hit them. Here's Knapp. He'll shoot an awkward three, in and out, no. And Sanford clears the rebound. Baxter off the bounce. Another missed shot, another rebound for the Big Blue. These two teams have combined to lose 12 in a row in the month of January. Elmhurst's last victory was on December 29th in the consolation game of their holiday tournament against Wabash College. Millikin's last win was on January 9th against the Blue Jays. And a whistle and blocking foul called on Wilfer's drive to the basket. That'll be on Dornfeld. That's Dornfeld's first and the team's fourth. Knapp will check out of the game, as will Gardner. Owens and Kinman, who started the game, come back in. This is Kinman. Griffin with room to drive, didn't take it. Gives it to Kinman. Off to Griffin, misses another one. He's 0 for 3 from the floor. Manages to follow his own shot. Good look down low, but Kinman couldn't find the handle. Wilfer with a strong move inside. Couldn't convert. Payonk with a rebound. And Baxter finally gets a friendly bounce after struggling mightily the last 2 days from the field. Gets 3 bounces and in for the bucket. Elmhurst with its biggest lead of the first half, and the Big Blue want timeout. We'll take it with them. Blue Jays lead it by 6 on BlueJaysTV.com. We want to say hello to all of our alumni and friends across the country watching Blue Jay TV. Glad you're with us tonight, and we would love to hear from you. My email is joseph.r.emick@elmhurst.edu. If you're near a computer, drop me an email, and I'll be glad to get your name and any message you'd like on the air to let folks know you're watching. If you're enjoying our broadcast tonight, email, Facebook, tweet your Elmhurst friends and fellow alumni. Get them on board. It's our privilege to bring these games to you live over the internet, and we hope that you are enjoying the telecast and encourage you to have as many of your friends and fellow alumni join us as well. So again, joseph.r.emick@elmhurst.edu. Drop us a line, and we'll get you a mention on the air. Good start for the Blue Jays. Despite shooting poorly, they have managed to forge an 18-12 lead. 7:39 to go in the first half. Elmhurst trying to avoid their longest losing streak since the 1986-87 season. Streak currently stands at 8. Last time they lost 9 was in that 86-87 year. Kinman wide open off a down screen, but he couldn't convert. And here come the Blue Jays. Big Blue shooting not much better. They are now 6 of 20 for 30% from the field. Good look down low to Sanford. Turns and misses. That was a good opportunity inside. He couldn't convert. And Kinman bumped by Payonk down low. Payonk's second. Now check that, it's his third. And he'll take a seat for the remainder of the half. Morganoff comes in to replace him. And Ackerman will come in and give Baxter a rest. So the Blue Jays now will play with Ackerman, Morganoff, Dornfeld, Foster, and Sanford. High post, they pass it out now to Kinman. Good pass inside. Kick it back out. Maybe overpassing that time, and the ball knocked away. They had 2 open shots on that look and passed them both up and end up with nothing. Foster misses the pull-up. Sanford does a good job to chase down the offensive rebound. Elmhurst out-rebounding the Big Blue 10-8 here in the first half. 16-footer, in and out, no. Boy, the Blue Jays getting good looks. They're taking good shots. They're getting them in the flow of the offense. They just simply will not find the net. Here's Owens. And ball kicked. That'll go out of bounds to Millikin and reset the shot clock. And now Wiest will come back in and Foster will take a seat. Three first-year players on the floor for Elmhurst. Morganoff, the junior college transfer. Wiest and Ackerman, the freshman from Indiana. And now Alex DeBack, 6'7", 240-pound junior out of Michigan, is on the floor for the Blue Jays, and he'll replace Dornfeld. This is Griffin to trigger it in. Big Blues leading scorer has been very quiet tonight. Mark Scheer wants an elbow call against Kinman, who is trying to fight for position in the corner. Wilfer inside on a nice back cut by Jalen Owens for the easy layup. That's Owens' first basket of the night. Elmhurst maintaining the lead, though, at 18-14. Here's DeBack up top. Uses up his dribble, gives it off to Ackerman. Ackerman looks for a step, can't find it. Found himself caught in no man's land, but was able to get the ball inside to Morganoff, who was fouled. Wilfer called on the personal. That's his second. That is the 6th on the Big Blue. One more, and Elmhurst will be in the 1-and-1 bonus. Sanford to trigger the play inbounds. The season started off reasonably well offensively for this Elmhurst team. After the opening game of their holiday tournament against Ripon, their scoring average had risen to a season-high 71 points per game. Give you a sense of their fall-off since then. They enter tonight averaging 64 points per game. That is a 7 points per game drop-off in their scoring average in a month and a half. And that is the biggest reason this team has lost 8 straight games to begin conference play. Kinman nailed the 3 just a minute ago to draw the Big Blue to within 1. That's Kinman's 5th point of the night, and Mark Scheer wants a timeout to talk things over. It's a full timeout. We'll take it with him. 4:49 to go before the break. Blue Jays maintaining a 1-point lead on BlueJayTV.com. Tonight's game between Elmhurst and Millikin, just one of a full slate of conference games tonight in the CCIW. Wheaton is at North Park. Carthage is at North Central. And the big game of the night, Illinois Wesleyan at Augustana. And I think a little bit of a surprise at the top of the CCIW standings, not so much that Illinois Wesleyan is there, but that they have a full 3-game lead over the rest of the field in the league. North Central, Augustana, and Wheaton are tied for second at 5-3. Carthage is 4-3. This Millikin ball club 3 up and 5 down in the league, though they've lost 5 straight. North Park is 1-7, and of course Elmhurst is 0-8. And that Illinois Wesleyan team, as we saw on Saturday, very good team as always, but a very different type of Illinois Wesleyan team. They typically have 1 or 2 really athletic players. This is a team of about 10 guys who just grind it out at all 5 positions. After the timeout, Glass falling backwards on his jump shot, left it short. And Millikin with a chance to take the lead. This is Windmuller. Couldn't find any room, and they'll bring it back out to the top to Clark to reset the offense. Owens looked like he walked, no call, flips it back out to the top. This is Clark, 10 to shoot. Wants a screen, gets it, can't find room to shoot. Dumps it off inside, and the jump hook no good. Morganoff clears the board. Morganoff averaging nearly 4 rebounds a game. And Ackerman traveled. Got caught in between decisions there. Wasn't sure if he wanted to take it all the way to the glass or pass it back out. And his indecision leads to a travel and a turnover. Fifth turnover of the night for the Blue Jays. They average a healthy 15.5 turnovers per game. Had just 11 in the game on Saturday, and now a whistle and an offensive foul. Illegal screen off the ball against the Big Blue. And the personal foul is on Jalen Owens. That is his first. That's the 7th on the Big Blue, but a player control foul, so no free throws. Next defensive foul against the Big Blue, and the Blue Jays will shoot the 1-and-1. Fast-moving first half, nearing the 3.5-minute mark. Elmhurst leads by 1. They led by as many as 6, and they turn it over on a bad pass by Ackerman. And that will bring Baxter off the bench and Ackerman to the bench. Kinman gives it off to Robbins. Here's Griffin. Elmhurst playing man-to-man, but Morganoff will sink back into the paint when the postman goes up top. Owens' jumper no good. And the Blue Jays with a rebound. And another miss. That was another good look and another miss. Wiest off the tap. Shot clock reset on the missed shot, so Elmhurst with 30 seconds to shoot now. Wiest will back it out and try to reset things. And it went right through Glass's hands. Those are the kinds of things that happen when you're mired in an 8-game losing skid, as are the Blue Jays. And there isn't any secret formula to what they need to do to right the ship. They simply need to make shots. And if it's a matter of the team not getting shots in the flow of its offense, bad shot selection, that would be one thing. Those are things you can correct. They're doing those things. They're taking good shots. They're running the offense. They just simply are not finding the bottom of the net. Owens bobbled it in the high post, regains control. Spin move no good. Sanford fouled as he tried to clear it, and he'll go to the line to shoot a 1-and-1. It's the 8th team foul on the Big Blue. First called against Rodney Clark. Sanford 2 for 2 tonight at the free throw line. He has 4 points. And this one rolls over the front of the rim. Sanford has 5. Blue Jays now 4 for 5 at the free throw line. Ackerman will come back in and Morganoff will sit. It's a little smaller lineup here for Mark Shearer's ball club. In essence, a 3-guard lineup with Ackerman, Baxter, and Foster. Dornfeld and Sanford will play the wings. So Sanford remains perfect at the free throw line. He now has 6 to lead the Blue Jays. And they hang on to a 3-point lead as we hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. Robbins off the handoff, drains it. Good square up 3-pointer there for Robbins. That's his first basket after having 17 off the bench the last time these two teams played. He does not shoot it well, just a 29% shooter from the field. Sanford wanted to snap it down inside to Dornfeld, but Owens made a nice play to slap it away. 90 seconds to go in the half. Good look down inside, but the officials say Stanford was wide open because of a, how do they call it, a hold on Millikin? No, they called a push on Sanford. That'll be Sanford's first, the 6th against the Blue Jays, and Millikin will inbound it in backcourt. Good hands by Ackerman to reach in and knock it away, and then he was mugged after the steal, and he'll go to the line to shoot 1-and-1, the 9th foul on the Big Blue. Ackerman averages 7.5 points per game, has 1 point tonight, make it 2. He'll get another chance from the free throw line. Pliakis comes back into the game for the Big Blue, and Owens will sit. As I mentioned earlier, Ackerman, a member of a state championship team for the Lagodi Lions, one of the storied programs in Indiana high school basketball. He was a good all-around athlete, lettered in baseball for the Lions as well. And Coach Mark Shearer really excited when Bryant decided to join the Elmhurst basketball team coming off of that state championship. Foul down inside, and Kinman will go to the line. He'll shoot it twice. And the foul is on Ackerman. That's his first, 7th on the team. And Millikin now 0 for 3 from the foul line. Kinman with 5 points early. Has not done much since. Played well the last time these two teams played, had 16 points. And he finally drains one. He now has 6 to lead the Big Blue. And that's their first made free throw of the night. Minute to go in the half. Elmhurst is led by as many as 6. Dornfeld wide open, let it go through his hands. And Millikin now with a chance to regain the lead. Pass from Pliakis, too much for Kinman to handle. And Elmhurst will get the ball with an 11-second difference between the clocks here at the end of the half. Mark Shearer now trades one Indiana freshman for another as Wiest comes on and Ackerman will sit. Mark's had a pretty steady rotation off the bench tonight. Here's Baxter, and he stepped out of bounds. So Millikin, in essence, will have the ball and able to hold for the final shot. There is about a 1.5 second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Big defensive possession here for the Blue Jays. Millikin with a chance to take the lead and have momentum at the half. Here's Griffin. He'll kill some time. They'll likely let the clock run down to about 10 and then start their offense. Well, started earlier than that. Ball screen drive. He walked. No call. Good hands that time by Sanford. Here's Weiss. Drives to the bucket. Misses the layup. Sanford there for the hustle and the tip in. Good way to end the half as the half-court heave is no good. And the Blue Jays, with a good active defensive play and a hustle to the other end, extend their lead to 3 as we reach the intermission. We'll take a timeout and be back to look at the first half stats in a moment. You are watching Blue Jay basketball on BlueJayTV.com. Blue Jays with a 3-point halftime lead in a game that so far has played out true to form. These two teams came in shooting as poorly from the field as anybody in the league. Elmhurst shooting 40% from the field for the year, 35% over their last 8. The Millikin Big Blue with similar numbers. And as we turn to the halftime stats, you'll see similar woeful shooting reflected in the halftime statistics. Elmhurst just 8 of 26 from the field for 30%. Millikin 9 for 27. The big difference at the free throw line where Elmhurst was 7 out of 8 and Millikin was just 1 out of 4. Individual scoring for the Elmhurst Blue Jays, as he has done all year long. Nick Sanford led the way with 9 points. He was 1 for 1 from the three-point line, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. After that, Deontay Foster had 4. Taylor Baxter with 4. Eric Dornfeld had 2. Brian Ackerman had 3. And Alex Morganoff had 2. For the Big Blue, they too were quiet offensively. They were led in scoring by Elijah Kinman. He had 6 points. Those all came early. Rodney Clark had 4. Chase Robbins, who had 17 in the last meeting between these two teams, had 3. Jalen Owens and Mitch Wilfer had 2 points apiece, and Davis Johnson had 4 points off the bench. Another big factor for the Millikin Big Blue, their leading scorer, TJ Griffin, who came in averaging 13.5 points per contest and is their regular starting shooting guard, did not start tonight, and he was scoreless in the first half. Blue Jays took relatively good care of the ball. They had 11 turnovers. They averaged 15.5, almost 16 per game. Just 9 turnovers in the first half for Millikin, and we're underway in the second half. This is Robbins. Squares up, drains his second 3 of the night. He now has 6, and we are tied. Here come the Blue Jays. Lineup that began the game is on the floor now. Foster and Baxter in the backcourt. Sanford, Dornfeld, and Morganoff up front, and Sanford misses the layup but is fouled, and he will go to the line to shoot it twice, where he was 4 for 4 in the first half. Big Blue lineup includes Chase Robbins, who hit that three-pointer a second ago, Elijah Kinman, Mitch Wilfer, who started the game at center, Rodney Clark, who started at guard, and Davis Johnson. And Sanford remains perfect from the line tonight. As we said, that was the biggest difference in the first half for Elmhurst. While they shot poorly from the field, as they have all year long, they were a very good 7 of 8 from the charity stripe in that first half. Sanford now 6 for 6, has 11 on the night to lead all scorers, and Elmhurst is up again by 2. This is Kinman. Sanford guarding him. Good shovel pass inside to Wilfer, and a good block from behind by Baxter. Foster looking for a quick chance, couldn't find one, and now we'll set the offense off the wing. Dornfeld. Dangerous pass out top. Wilfer couldn't catch up with it. And the Blue Jays get it off to Baxter. Slides by a screen. Can't find room to shoot. Sanford looked like he had a shot. Dumped it down inside to Dornfeld, knocked away, and here come the Big Blue. Shake and bake move by Robbins. All flash, couldn't finish it. And Elmhurst commits the foul on the rebound. This one will go against Sanford. That's his second, first of the half for the team. This is the final game in a 3-game homestand for the Blue Jays. They head out on the road for a 3-game road trip and then back here on the 16th to resume home play in the CCIWs. The free throw is no good, and a big day here on the 16th. If you are in the area and can get out here to Faginal Hall that day, we encourage you to do so. We have a terrific men's-women's basketball doubleheader that day against the Augustana Vikings. as Millikin now is 1 for 6 from the free throw line. Women's game starts at 2. Men's game scheduled at 4. And Foster gets the friendly roll. Few players need that friendly roll more than he does with the way he's been shooting. He now has 6. And the Big Blue respond with a quick basket. Back to that doubleheader on the 16th. Not only do we have a great day of basketball for you, but on that day we will celebrate the football team and the women's volleyball team. And you're well aware of their success. Football team with its first CCIW championship in 30 years and a trip to the playoffs along with Scotty Williams' Gallardi Trophy. Women's volleyball team, of course, went to the national semifinals. Good block on Sanford's drive there. Carry, no call out top, and the Big Blue with a transition layup. Mark Shearer not happy with the defensive effort, and he'll go to his bench at the next dead ball. So we're now tied again. And Mark Shearer will take a timeout. He was not satisfied at all with that transition defense. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. That'll give us a chance to finish telling you about the festivities on the 16th. So we'll celebrate those two teams at halftime of the women's game. We'll recognize the volleyball team. We'll unveil their conference championship trophy and their conference championship banner. Then at halftime of the men's game, we'll do the same for the football team. We'll unveil their conference championship banner, and we will unveil Scotty Williams' Gallardi Trophy. I had a chance to see it this morning, and if you haven't seen it yet, it is a sight to behold. It is a monster of a trophy. He was a guest speaker at the college's 6th annual governmental forum today. Terrific event out at Drury Lane. He was one of the guest speakers. They had 2 offensive linemen haul the trophy in to the ballroom for people to see it. And so if you have a chance to be here on the 16th, both for the basketball games and the celebrations, it's going to be a terrific day to celebrate Blue Jay athletics. So after the timeout, Wiest is into the game along with Payonk, and this is Wiest on a drive. Good aggressive move inside. Couldn't finish the shot, but draws the foul and gets to the line. That foul is on the Big Blues' TJ Griffin, his first of the game, second of the half against the team. And Wiest, who played but did not score in the first half, will go to the free throw line where he is a 60% free throw shooter. Solid day off the bench Saturday with 8 points and 4 rebounds against the Titans. He is from Edinburgh, Indiana, just south of Indianapolis, outside the city of Columbus. Good all-round athlete, obviously played basketball there, also lettered in golf. And he picks up his first 2 points of the night. So it is feast or famine for the Blue Jays. Famine from the field, feast for the free throw line. They've still just missed 1 free throw tonight, and that is why they have a 2-point advantage. Terrible spacing inside by the Big Blue. They couldn't find any room for their shooters, and Wilfer called for a 3-second violation. They had 3 guys packed down around the block. Terrible spacing. And the turnover goes back to the Blue Jays. Little stop and go move. Leaner good. So how about Deontay Foster? Went 1 for 10 on Saturday, 0 for 2 to start the game today, and he now has 8 points. Little jump stop. In and out, no good. And the shooting woes continue for the Big Blue. And they continue for the Blue Jays. Another wide open look. Doesn't go down, and now a collision, and Foster will be called for the foul. That's his first, the team's third. And I hate to belabor the point. I'm sure I sound like a broken record talking about these two teams' shooting woes. That really is the story of tonight's game and the story of the conference season for these two teams. You look at all their other statistics, they are reasonably good across the board with that one exception, the field goal shooting. Here's Robbins, has a pair of 3-pointers on the night. Wilfer kicks it out. Nice pass out to the top, and Griffin drains the 3 for his first basket. So a 180 from the last possession when they had poor spacing and created the turnover. This time, very good spacing and good passing out of the post. This is bad passing out of the post, and it leads to a turnover, a transition basket, a foul, and a chance at a three-point play. Big Blue have been active in those passing lanes out high. 3 times in the first half, they were able to swipe passes and get breakaway opportunities. And here, Davis Johnson, who had 2 points in the first half, gets his first basket of the second and a chance to complete the three-point play. Payonk will come to the bench. And Sanford is back in. Morganoff will come in, and Dornfeld will leave. Owens back in for the Big Blue. He will replace Wilfer. And I don't think anybody expected either of these two teams to contend for a CCIW championship. Top of the league, way too strong with 4 top 25 ranked teams this season. What I think both teams expected is Foster with a little turnaround jumper is long, and Big Blue will come the other way. That these two teams would at least be competitive, force the top teams to play well to beat them. Likely these two teams would split home and home, and they'd have a chance to beat North Park and Carthage, as Johnson is fouled inside. That foul is going to be on Morganoff. That's his second and the team's fourth. But as it turns out, when the shooting woes hit these two teams, they have found it rough going. And as you know, the Blue Jays have lost badly to the upper echelon in the league and have already lost to Millikin and North Park. But a chance here as we go through the second round of games in the league for Elmhurst to rebound a bit and perhaps an outside shot to make that last seed in the CCIW conference tournament. Off the miss, here comes Baxter as the Big Blue are back on top by a pair. Baxter draws a double. And he'll get the ball on the return from Sanford back out between the rings. Here's Foster. Wiest draws a triple team, passes out of it. Millikin jumps back out on the wing nicely. Morganoff, all kinds of room, waited too long to make his turn. Finally did, and fortunately drew the foul. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. Not sure Morganoff quite knew where he was down on the block. When he caught it, he had some space to take his man to the baseline into the glass. Made a move a little too late, but still drew the foul to get to the line. Morganoff, a poor foul shooter, just 64%, and this one bangs in and out. Pair of misses from Morganoff at the line. His point total tonight still stuck at 2. And Elmhurst trails by 2. They led it by 2 at the half. On the strength of 7 of 8 foul shooting in those first 20 minutes. Griffin with a little jump stop. His shot no good, and Sanford clears the board. Sanford's been the best player on the floor for both teams tonight. And Foster misses the layup. Morganoff misses the putback. Mark Shearer wanted a foul. He is really upset. Thought Morganoff got hacked inside, and now Sanford called for a foul the other way. And that is a big foul. That is Sanford's third with 14 minutes plus to play in the first half. And he's going to have to take a seat for a while. And boy, that last sequence is how things go when you are mired in the kind of shooting slump the Blue Jays are. Even quick inside open looks don't go down. So that was the third on Sanford. I stand corrected, just his second, so he will stay in the game. He'll be joined by Ackerman, Wiest, Foster, and Morganoff. And Robbins' free throw rims out. He missed a pair, and the Big Blue lead remains at 2. And three-point field goal is good. Nice kick out off the drive. Ackerman was left wide open. He now has 6 points in the half, and the Big Blue want to talk it over. Blue Jays led by 2 at the half. Seesaw affair through the first 6 minutes of the second. Have the Blue Jays on top. We'll take timeout and be back to Fagnall Hall in a minute on BlueJayTV.com. We resume action at Fagnall Hall with just about 14 minutes to go in the game, and Elmhurst hanging on to a 1-point lead. They will come out of the timeout with Ackerman, Sanford, Morganoff, Wiest, and Foster on the floor. Big Blue out of their timeout will come with Griffin, Robbins, Owens, Davis, and Clark. It'll be Millikin ball after the timeout. They'll inbound on the near side. And this is Clark to get things started up top. Wiest in a good low stance, forces the cross-court pass, and nice job by Morganoff to come with a double team across the top and knock it out of bounds. 17 to shoot. Good cut down to the baseline that time by Johnson. He had a step on Foster, and Foster fouled him. That'll put Davis Johnson on the line to shoot a pair. It's Foster's second, the 6th on the team. So with 13 minutes remaining, another foul and Millikin will be in the 1-and-1 bonus. That free throw looked like it was going to miss from the minute it left his hand. That thing was a line drive with no arc, and it hit right off the front of the rim. Johnson, not a good foul shooter, just 61%, though he shoots it well from the field at 50%. Misses them both here. And the Blue Jays with a chance to extend their lead. Ackerman, 18-footer, good. Nice way to get some separation and pull up for the smooth 18-footer. He now has 9 points. 5 of them here in the second half. Johnson gets loose inside. His shot is too strong. And the Jays clear the rebound. Sanford harassed out on the wing. Looked like a foul, no call. Wiest dribbled it off his foot but recovers before it crosses the timeline. Shot clock inside 10. Ackerman had a screen, went the other way, dumps it off to Sanford. Looked like he walked it, no call, and he nails the 10-foot baseline. Lead is 5. The Jays have led by as many as 6 tonight. Sanford now with 13 in the game to lead all scorers. And Millikin takes another timeout. So Matt Nadelhofer, second-year head coach, not happy at all with what he's seeing from his team in the last couple of plays. His second timeout within the last 3 minutes. Nadelhofer's name may be familiar to many of you. He was an outstanding player at Wheaton College in the late 90s. And in his second year at Millikin, they had a brutal year last year, winning just one time in 26 tries. They were winless in the CCIW. So while their 7-12 record overall may not look impressive, it does represent a 6-win improvement over last year, and it appears that he has this program headed in the right direction. Big Blue own the all-time series between these two teams. In fact, this is the 120th game all-time between the Blue Jays and the Big Blue. Millikin 71 up and 48 down in that series. But Elmhurst has had the better of it over the last 10 years or so. Since 2001, they've played 25 times, and Elmhurst has won 18 of those. Wiest with a floater, no good. Morganov with a strong rebound. Shot blocked from behind. They get two looks at it inside, nothing doing. And Mark Shearer is really upset about the physical play inside, and now a whistle and a foul as the Big Blue bring it to the other end. And the foul is a pushing foul on the offensive end against Chase Robbins. That's his first, the team's fourth. Again, if you're out watching us around the country, we want to say hello to all of our alumni and friends who are doing so. As Foster draws a foul, he'll go to the line to shoot a pair. And if you are near a computer, we'd love to hear from you. My email, joseph.r.emick@elmhurst.edu. Drop us a line and we'll get you a mention on the air tonight. And if you'd like to chat with friends watching along the way, we do have a chat feature on our internet TV broadcast. You can find the link next to your video screen and invite you to chat and interact with your fellow viewers. And Foster drains it. He now has 5 points here in the second half, 9 in the game. He's a senior out of Muskegon, Michigan. He started every game tonight. Foster into double figures. He only averages 8.5 a game. Six points here in the second half for the senior guard. Good bounce back after Saturday's poor offensive performance. Here's Wilfer. Good spin move, but couldn't convert. And Ackerman clears the rebound. Doesn't matter if they're 20-footers, 15-footers, or 5-footers. They are coming very, very hard for these two teams. Although Ackerman with another good pull-up jumper. He's getting hot from the field. Ackerman with 7.5. A couple of misses and offensive rebounds, and it leads to a Blue Jay foul. Morganov called on it. That's his third. He'll go to the bench. And Dornfeld will come in. Morganov had 2 points in the first half, yet to score here in the second. And with over 10 minutes to play in the half, he'll have a seat for a long while on the Blue Jay bench. This is Wiest. Foster. How about it? Deontay Foster with a 3-point field goal. He has dominated the second half of play. 9 points in the second half. He has 13 to tie Sanford for a game high. And the Big Blue burn yet another timeout. We'll take it with him back in a minute on BlueJaysTV.com. Deontay Foster has been the star of the second half so far, and he has staked Elmhurst to its largest lead of the night at 10, and what a way for Foster to begin the second half. He has a game-high 13 points, with 9 of them coming in the first 10 minutes of the second half. This is a young man who went 1 for 11 on Saturday from the field against Illinois Wesleyan, started off 0 for 2 tonight, and he is now getting in a rhythm. He's hit a couple of free throws, a couple of short jumpers, And just before this last timeout, drained a 3. Elmhurst shot 30% in that first half. They've increased that to 38%. Now shooting 15 of 40 for the game. Here's Kinman, who had a long rest on the bench, and he makes the most of his return to the game with a quick three-pointer. He now has 9. Those are his first second half points. Free throws remain the big difference in this game. Elmhurst 13 of 16. As Sanford there for the rebound off the Ackerman miss for the putback. Sanford now with 15 points, and he leads all scorers. So 13 of 16 for the line for Elmhurst, the Millikin Big Blue. 2 for 14 from the foul line tonight. Robbins, and a blocking foul. That's going to go against Dornfeld. And Robbins will go to the free throw line. As we just mentioned, this has been a house of horrors for the Big Blue tonight. 2 of 14. And Robbins breaks the free throw shooting skid. He now has 7 points on the night, 4 of them here in the half. Elmhurst also doing a good job on the boards tonight. Of course, when their two teams shoot as poorly as these two do, there are going to be a lot of rebounds to be had, and Elmhurst has made the most of it, out-rebounding the Big Blue 35-25. Second free throw gave Robbins his 8th point of the night. And what was a 10-point Elmhurst lead is down to 7. Ackerman missed it. Good hustle by Wiest. Couldn't quite make the rebound and the tap in, but Sanford is there to keep it alive, and a fresh shot clock on the possession for the Blue Jays. Ackerman got it again. And now the Blue Jays starting to heat up from the offensive end. Ackerman with 9.5. He has 13 in the game. And the Blue Jays with 3 players in double figures tonight, and a foul out top on Robbins. Fouls on Kyle Wiest. That's his first. It's the 9th on the Blue Jays. And after making 2 in a row on his last trip, Robbins misfires here. Makes good there. 6 points here in the second half. He now has 9, averages 10.5. We mentioned that this is the final game on a 3-game homestand for the Blue Jays. They head out on the road for 3 straight after tonight. And it is a tough 3-game stretch as Sanford slices his way to the basket. He now has 17, 2 above his season average. This matches the biggest lead of the night for the Blue Jays. Floater was no good. Nobody blocked out Johnson, though, and he snuck in for the rebound and the tap-in basket. He now has 6. And now Mark Shearer will take a timeout as well. This will be a full timeout. So with 8:30 to go in the ball game, Elmhurst leads by 8. We'll be back in a minute on BlueJayTV.com. Blue Jays with an 8-point lead with 8.5 minutes to go in the game. They led by 2 at the half. They've led by as many as 10 here in the second half, and they have had a bit of an offensive explosion here. 3 players now in double figures, Deontay Foster, Brian Ackerman, and Nick Sanford. And the real story has been the play of Deontay Foster at the offensive end. Coming in shooting just 31% from the field for the season. Has lit it up here in the second half. He is in double digits with 13 points, 9 of them after halftime. Mark Shearer has not been happy with the physical play inside when Elmhurst has the ball. He's been upset about several fouls that were not called that he thought should have been, and he spent about 2/3 of that time out talking to the official about just that. We'll see if it does any good here as play resumes. Mentioned just before the break that Elmhurst heads out on the road for a 3-game road trip, and it is a challenging stretch of the schedule. They will play on Saturday night at North Central College down in Naperville. A week from tonight, they'll be at Carthage, and then on the 9th, they will be at North Park. Good handoff inside from Wiest to Dornfeld, and Dornfeld lays it in to extend the lead back to double digits. Long three-pointer by Windmuller is no good, and Elmhurst with a chance to take its biggest lead of the night. Ackerman right to the basket, didn't make it, but he was fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot 2, and Mark Shearer gets up off the bench and says to the official, "That's it. That's what I was talking about." So the pleading his case during the timeout appears to have paid off as Ackerman draws the foul and will go to the free throw line. After that 3-game road trip we just talked about, Elmhurst will finish the season with 2 in a row at home. And that season-ending homestand is no picnic as they will face the Augustana Vikings on the 16th on the game we talked about with the celebration of our fall sports teams. And then finish up on the 19th with a game against Wheaton College. So they finish the year against 2 top 25 ranked teams. This is Kinman. Seen little action here in the second half. Johnson fadeaway out of the post, no good. And Wiest will clear the rebound. Largest lead of the night for the Blue Jays. 7.5 minutes away from snapping an 8-game losing streak in the month of January. Wiest got it. Wiest now with 4, all of them here in the second half. That's his first field goal. Miscommunication that time. Windmuller wanted Johnson cutting to the block. Johnson didn't cut. And Elmhurst with the easy steal. This is Dornfeld. Cross-court pass now to Wiest. Down inside. This is Sanford. One-on-one with Kinman. Good move to lay it in. 19 on the night for Nick Sanford. Kinman can't find the handle on the pass inside. Open look for Griffin. Got it. Been a very quiet night for the Big Blues leading scorer. That's just his 6th point of the night. And the Big Blue ripping through their timeouts here in the second half. Will take another break to talk things over, trailing by 12. It's their biggest deficit of the night. Be a 30-second. Snap that 8-game losing streak, and it would give them their first win in conference play. Nick Sanford, the only player for Elmhurst who averages double figures on the season, but tonight 3 players in double digits. Sanford with his usual outstanding performance. He's got 19 tonight. That's 4 above his average. But Deontay Foster and Brian Ackerman also in double figures. Millikin now trying to press. Blue Jays break it with relative ease. And they'll get into their half-court set. 6 minutes to go in the game. Foster off the screen, goes to the bucket. He got hammered, no call. Shot no good. He wanted the foul, didn't get it. And Kinman will bring it the other way. Touch pass, Johnson. Down inside to Kinman. And whistle and a jump ball, alternating possession, will go to the Blue Jays. Blue Jays go to the full court press. They trap in the corner. Ackerman does a good job to stay with it, and now they break the press. Sanford waits for help. Maybe waited too long, and now a timeout. That stops the clock with 5:35 to go. Elmhurst leading by 12. This is a full timeout. We'll take a break with the Blue Jays. Back in a minute on BlueJayTV.com. 5 minutes and 35 seconds separate the Elmhurst Blue Jays from their first victory in conference play and a stop to an 8-game losing streak. And they have really played well here in the second half. They led by 2 at the break. They led by 3 at the break, 24-21, and they now have the 12-point lead, 59-47. They've really picked up the pace on offense tonight, finally found their shooting touch. And the pass down inside to Morganoff is tipped away. After the timeout, Morganoff joins Foster, Sanford, Baxter, and Wiest in the Elmhurst lineup. Lazy inbounds pass stolen easily that time by the Big Blue, and here comes Robbins. He blows right by Baxter, puts it on the rim. Morganoff called for the goaltend. Robbins is joined on the floor by his Big Blue teammates Davis Johnson, Travis Windmuller, Rodney Clark, and Elijah Kinman. Foster splits the double team against the press and brings it into the half court. Elmhurst women's team is also playing Millikin. They're in action down in Decatur tonight. And with 6:53 left in that game, the women's basketball team trails the Big Blue by 15, 58-43. They trailed by 3 at the half and now trail by 15 with about 6 minutes to go in the game. Foul will send Sanford to the line. A foul on Kinman, that was his third. And Sanford with another free throw. 7 points at the line tonight for Nick Sanford. This one is no good, and the rebound tapped out, and he saves another one. That is the 18th rebound of the night for Nick Sanford. Excuse me, that was his 18th point on that free throw. That was his 16th rebound. So what a night for Nick Sanford with a huge double-double. And now a foul called out high against the Blue Jays. And it's going to be called on Nick Sanford. That is his third. Layup attempt by Johnson is no good. And Baxter will clear the rebound. So what a night for Nick Sanford. 18 points and 16 rebounds. Elmhurst now working some clock. 10 to shoot. 5 to shoot. Ball tipped away, out of bounds. And Mark Shearer looking at Taylor Baxter, reminding him to be aware of the time on the shot clock. And the turnover gives it back to the Big Blue. Elmhurst in control, leading by double digits. They've led by as many as 15. This is a big, big win for the Blue Jays. Down low, Kinman playing with the 3 fouls, and Sanford just picked up his 4th. So the lone blemish on Sanford's record tonight is he'll go to the bench with those 4 fouls after Kinman's free throw attempt. But what an effort from Sanford tonight with the big double-double. One of the few made free throws of the night for the Big Blue. That's Kinman's 10th point of the night. He just averages 6.5. And substitutions for Mark Scherer, but one of them is not for Nick Sanford, so he's going to leave his team's leading scorer in the game with 4 personal fouls. Millikin now will substitute. Kinman will sit, and Griffin will come on. So Elmhurst now, in the final 3 minutes, will play with Ackerman, Sanford, Foster, Wiest, and Morganoff. Here's Foster against the press. Having some trouble with it. Picks up his dribble, now releases to the front court. Sanford wide open, missed the layup. He wanted a foul, none was called. Scramble for it under the basket, and the Big Blue have it. Robbins will streak in the lane and lay it in. Tough sequence for the Blue Jays that time. Sanford gets behind the press. This time he'll lay it in, and this time he will draw the foul. Mark Nadelhofer arguing that Sanford was fouled before the shot. He will not win that argument. And Sanford now with 20 points on the night. Go to the free throw line with an attempt to make it 21. And the lead is back to 10. Dornfeld back into the game for the Blue Jays, and Morganoff will sit. Very quiet night for the junior college transfer out of Sacramento, California. 2 early points in the first half, and that is it for Alex. Windmuller, short. And Dornfeld with a rebound. And oh boy, that was an over and back that they didn't call. Here comes the Big Blue with the steal anyway and the easy lay-in, and they've cut the lead to 8. So Elmhurst breaking the press early, and now there's an over and back. Deontay Foster drove it across the timeline and circled right back into the backcourt. So Millikin went to this press with about 6.5 minutes to go in the game. Elmhurst did not have much trouble with it early on, but now they've turned it over 2 straight times against the full court press. Here's Robbins. Good pass on a wide open back cut by Davis Johnson, and all of a sudden what was a 12-point lead is down to 6. Here's Baxter with it. Holds it against the double team. They better get it across, and they do, just beating the 10-second count. Baxter with it out high. Nearing the 2-minute mark of the game. Blue Jays trying to hang on. 3rd straight turnover. Looked like a foul again with no call. Johnson swoops the other way, and he is fouled and will go to the line to shoot it twice to cut the lead to 4. So just as the Blue Jays appeared to have this one in hand, the Big Blue turn up the defensive pressure, force a couple of turnovers, and they are right back in the ball game. Talked about what a rough month of January it's been for the Blue Jays. Hasn't been much better for the Big Blue. They defeated Elmhurst down in Decatur, 77-72 back on January 9th. They haven't won since, dropping 5 in a row after a promising 3-0 start in conference play. Dornfeld will sit. Morganov is back in. And this free throw rattles out, and Sanford has another rebound. Big Blue now 7 for 21 at the free throw line. Inside 2 minutes to play. This is Ackerman. Baxter, and he's fouled from behind. Johnson with a reach. That's the third foul on Davis Johnson. And Baxter will go to the line. Baxter averages 8 a game. And has just 4 points tonight. All of those coming in the first half. And his free throw is good for his first point of the second half. He's from Minonk, Illinois, transfer from Loras College. Catholic College in Iowa. And this free throw rattles in and out, no good. The lead is 7 with 1:40 to go. Urgency for the Big Blue. Now they back it out and slow it down a bit. This is Robbins. Foster tried to steal, couldn't. And an inside back cut for Rodney Clark leads to a layup. He has 6. And the Big Blue will stop the clock with 1:32 to go in the contest. We'll keep it right here with the Big Blue leading 64-59. So Elmhurst not out of the woods yet. They had it up to a 12-point lead. They had it up to a 15-point lead. Could not extend it farther than that. The Big Blue using full court pressure to force turnovers and get back in the game. They had cut it to 6, and Elmhurst now hanging on 64-59. As we've said, 3 players in double figures tonight for the Elmhurst Blue Jays. Nick Sanford leading the way with just a monster game. 21 points and 16 rebounds. Deontay Foster with 13 points, and Brian Ackerman also with 13 points. So a chance now for the Blue Jays to avoid their longest losing streak in 25 seasons. The 86-87 team lost 9 in a row during a stretch in which they lost 15 consecutive CCIW games. Mark Shearer with pretty firm instructions to his team during this timeout. Key here is to simply take care of the basketball. With 1:32, they can work some clock if they beat the Millikin pressure. We should remind you that our next BlueJayTV.com broadcast will be 1 week from tonight here from Faginal Hall as the Lady Blue Jays take on Carthage in a CCIW women's basketball matchup. And we'll be on the air with our entire BlueJayTV.com crew at 7:30. They get the ball inbounds and get it near midcourt. Baxter draws the double team. The pass was tipped, but Elmhurst maintains possession. This is Baxter. He'll handle things out top and hand to Ackerman. Ackerman gets a screen. Elmhurst now will work some clock. Double team and a foul. That will send Foster to the line to shoot the 1-and-1. Elmhurst, only a 67% foul shooting team on the season, has been terrific tonight. 74% from the line, 17 out of 23. They've outscored Millikin by 10, now make it 11 at the free throw line as Foster records his 14th point, his 10th of the second half. This one rims out. Good job by Dornfeld to tap it back out. And a whistle and another foul will send Foster back to the line. .15 on the night now for the senior guard. Six of those 14 at the foul line. And the lead back to 8 inside a minute to go. This is Robbins with a driving layup. Millikin out of timeouts. We're inside a minute to go. 6-point lead for the Blue Jays. They break the press. Good cross-court pass to Foster. And they reset it out top. This is Baxter. And a whistle and a foul. Dornfeld will go to the line to shoot the double bonus. And a couple of free throws should put this one away for the Blue Jays. Certainly a tale of two offensive halves for this Blue Jay ball club. They were just 8 of 26 from the field in the first half. And Dornfeld leaves this one short. A much improved 14 of 26 here in the second half. So 30% in the first half and just over 50% here in the second, and that's been the difference. Along with some very good free throw shooting, despite Dornfeld missing 2 there. Griffin, nice defensive play by Ackerman to block the shot, and he draws the foul in backcourt, and he'll go to the line. That's the 5th foul against Davis Johnson, so he will take a seat. Both teams taking advantage of the stoppage and play for the foul out. Elmhurst catching its breath, preparing for the free throws. Millikin huddling around their coach, Matt Nadelhofer. So Brian Ackerman going to the line, looking for his 14th point on the night. And this one rims out. These are free throws you need to make with a 6-point lead. Still just a 2-possession game with about a half minute to go. Dornfeld sits. Wiest will check in. Small lineup on the floor now for the Blue Jays as Ackerman knocks down the free throw. Makes it a 3-possession game now, a 7-point advantage. This is Clark. Big Blue need to get something going quickly. Clark misses the layup. Rebound to the Blue Jays. Shot clock is off, so we're inside 15 seconds to play. And the long month of January will come to an end for the Blue Jays with an important and impressive home court victory. They will win it by a final score of 68-61. The Blue Jays take advantage of strong free throw shooting, an outstanding second half of field goal shooting, and 3 players in double figures, led by a monster night by Nick Sanford. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back to recap the game and give you the final statistics in a moment. You've been watching Elmhurst College Blue Jay basketball on BlueJayTV.com. The 8-game losing streak has come to an end as the Elmhurst College Blue Jays, with an impressive second half, defeat the Millikin Big Blues 68-61. Elmhurst is now 5-15 on the year, 1-8 in conference play. The Big Blue fall to 7-13. They are 3-6 in league play. They now have lost 6 straight games since defeating Elmhurst back on January 9th. What a second half for this Elmhurst Blue Jay ball club. They led it 24-21 at the half, and they win it 68-61. The story of the game, though, the much improved field goal shooting by this Elmhurst ball club. They shot 8 for 26 in the first half for 30%, 14 for 26 for 53.8% in the second, and they finished the game with a 42.3% field goal shooting percentage. The Big Blue, 9 of 27 in the first half, 15 of 31. They also were much improved in their shooting, 41% from the floor. But the real difference all the way around for these two ball clubs was free throw shooting. For the Blue Jays, they were an impressive 14 of 23 in the second half from the free throw line. All in all, 21. That's right, 21 points from the free throw line tonight to just 7 for the Millikin Big Blue. So, the Blue Jays now go into their 3-game road trip on a bit of a high note with a much-needed win, perhaps to salvage a bit of a conference season and have an outside shot now at getting into that final seed for the conference tournament. Quick look at the individual statistics. The man of the match, if you will, tonight was forward Nick Sanford. He was absolutely terrific, led all scorers, including 3 double-figure scorers for Elmhurst tonight with 21 points. He had 16 rebounds, 5 offensive, 11 defensive, 6 of 11 from the floor, 8 of 9 from the free throw line. Deontay Foster, what can you say about him? The rough game against Illinois Wesleyan on Saturday, rough start today, and then he ends up finishing 5 out of 12 from the field for 16 points. Brian Ackerman also with a good day, 4 of 8 from the floor, 5 of 8 from the line. He had 14 points to go along with 4 rebounds. Other scores for Elmhurst, Taylor Baxter had 5, Kyle Wiest had 6, Alex Morgadoff had 2. Kenny Payonk, Charles Glass, Alex Taback played but did not score. For the Big Blue, they also had 3 players in double figures. Chase Robbins, who had 17 off the bench the last time these two teams played, started tonight and also had 17 points. He was 6 of 9 from the floor. Elijah Kinmon had 13 points on 4 of 9 shooting from the floor. He also had 3 rebounds. Davis Johnson had a double-double, 11 points and 10 rebounds, 4 offensive, 6 defensive. Other scores for the Big Blue, Rodney Clark had 8. TJ Griffin, the team's leading scorer, had 8. Jalen Owens had 2. Mitch Wilfer had 2. Tyves Gardner, Trent Windemuller, and Brady Knapp, along with Tommy Palakis, played but did not score. So that will do it for us here tonight from Faginal Hall, where the Blue Jays win it. Their first win in the month of January, their first win in conference play. The final score, 68-61. We invite you to join us for our next BlueJayTV.com broadcast 1 week from tonight as the women's basketball team faces Carthage right here at Faginal Hall. We'll be on the air with the live play-by-play action beginning at 7:30. Would like to thank Elmhurst College Sports Information Director Kevin Jude for all of his good pregame information. And I'd like to thank our Blue Jay TV crew, our director-producer Glenn Lidgeber, and our camera operator Joe Piscitelli. We'll be back with you 1 week from tonight. Until then, Blue Jays win it 68-61. I'm Joe Emick saying so long, everybody.